Who do you think has got better ball knowledge, Boovie or Rory?
All in.
He's right back in it if he wins this one.
How them turntables turn.
Now he's winning. Gun to your head for this season. What are your expectations?
It's going to be better than last season.
Last season wasn't bad.
What are we on?
1 and 200.
I've taken all your blues off your side.
Yeah.
I've never been so devastated in all my life. I wanted to go home like that minute, yeah. I was sick to the stomach, bro.
Welcome to The Upper Hand. I am Fintan, and my guest today is one of the OGs in the football YouTube space. It is Adam McKola. He is known for his controversial opinions, Man United love, and getting wound up by Boovie and Mr. Chelsea Rory. How you doing, mate? Thanks for coming.
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me, brother.
Cheers,
it's
mate.
an absolute pleasure to finally be here.
So today we are going to be playing heads up poker and having a little chat. The format is going to be 10,000 starting chips, best out of 5, bragging rights forever. And if you beat me 5-0, only 5-0, I'll donate 5k to your charity of choice. So that is a massive incentive. If you beat me 5-0, I might need to never play poker again.
I think that might happen. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You do fancy yourself. Do you know what? Of all the tournaments that we have gone to in the last year, you've outlasted me in every single one. At the Irish Open, you're sinking pints of Guinness and just coming out and going, yeah, I've got 500,000, mate. You were flying.
That day, I played 2 days. Each day I played 13 hours of poker. And I think I had a Guinness an hour.
Did you have a Guinness? You're over for a football match and you're probably going to be doing the same tomorrow.
Yeah.
I seen you sharing the picture of that keeper that had the pie at half time.
So I'm playing, as we speak now, tomorrow in a game.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching United the following day. So
nice. Not a bad little trip to Dublin.
Yeah,
we shuffle up in Dale to be.
Let's do it.
I'm a little bit nervous. I don't normally get nervous when I'm playing poker, but the only person that I've beat so far on this table, including my mum, H, all my friends, has been Rory. He's the only one.
I can't lie yet. My heads up game is very weak.
You'll be fine. One thing that I want to get started with straight away. I know you grew up with Birmingham.
Yeah.
Grew up in Birmingham. As an Aston Villa fan, why didn't you support Villa? Was it family related or how did that happen?
So my dad and my uncle Christopher have taken me to United games since I was a kid.
Really?
Like from the early days, I've been going to Manchester United games. Like I have been, because I grew up, like my granddad lives in Aston. And we used to play in the garage, as it was called.
Okay,
I know. Behind his house.
I know where it is, I think.
And Hampton Road, Fenton Road, Arden Road. And you could see Villa Park from there. So when there used to be a game going on, you could hear like the noise of the crowd and all those kind of things, which was great.
A little lesser known fact, I haven't seen you talking about it too much, is that you actually played schoolboy for Villa. At what point did you get your heart broke?
So I remember when I was about 14, 15.
Beautiful.
We basically got told I was going to do my coaching patches. And I was like, does this mean I ain't good enough? And I think it was from there that you realise you're not good enough. Because I played for Birmingham District at school. And then you have Villa coaches coming to your school, Birmingham City coaches coming to your school. You get invited. There used to be a building opposite Villa Park called Stumps.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
No.
And that used to be a place where all the schoolboys used to go and play. And I remember going there a few times. Just with school and all those kind of things. Then you start training on weekends and all that. But yeah, it didn't get too far for me. And ended up being a coach. But I coached for them a lot and I got paid to coach as well.
I can't imagine. No offense. I just can't imagine you keeping it cool with kids when they're not doing what you want them to do.
No, you know what it was? We were
I feel like you'd have a bit of Roy Keane about you. You're like, they're just not as good as me, and you'd be getting mad.
We had to travel to schools on weekends and stuff.
Okay.
And just coach with these kids. And I remember turning up in sometimes I'd turn up in my United tracksuit and all the kids would be like, oh, this is a United scout there. He's not mental.
I went scrolling through your socials, and the first mention of being on the TV was in 2013. You're on Freeview TV, and I think the post has 4 likes. Anything you put up about Manchester United these days just has thousands and thousands of likes. Was that the first time that you had any sort of break, or did that come from being outside the stadium? Because you were buzzing to say that you're on the TV.
Yeah, so it's funny because nowadays Sky Sports or someone will shout at me and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. Don't
worry, he's saying that on camera. You don't have a job.
You're like sometimes, I can't, like, you know, knock that on the head. But back then, like, if you said, oh, you're going to be on TV, I'd do anything to do it. And I remember it was a Freeview TV channel called Sports Tonight or something. That's not even existing anymore. But Poet was on it. And Poet was like one of my favorite YouTubers at that point.
Okay.
And I remember meeting him and being like, he showed me that I could turn it into a job.
Okay.
Like, he made me realize that you could turn this into a job. If you take this seriously, you can do something with it. And like, I remember the way he was with me off camera was just amazing, down to earth, polite, all that kind of thing. And then on camera, we were just
ripping each other.
Yeah, and it was like, he showed me kind of like the formula, you know what I mean? Like, and he made me believe that you could do it full time.
You said that your uncle and your dad were massive Manchester United fans. So
my uncle from my mum's side, so Chrissy, and my dad, obviously, they're both supported United.
Raised for.
And I remember...
Were they buzzing that you're on the TV, or how was it received? Because that's a different world back then. Like,
I used to work for my dad in it. So when I got a law degree.
Adam McKola has a law degree? Ah, come on now, mate.
I got a law degree, yeah.
Did you ever use it?
So I left uni. And then I left uni. And then as I left uni, I realised I didn't really want to be playing, like not playing, but going up against some of the people I was going up against with for jobs and stuff like that. Knowing that my heart weren't in it. I had my degree and stuff, but
it's not
as I went through the years, I was like, I don't really enjoy doing this. The only reason I did a law degree was like, I wanted a picture for my parents, and in my head I was like, you'll get loads of money, it'll be a great job.
You might have if you.
But I never enjoyed it. My heart weren't in it. And then I just started working for my dad. My dad did property. I remember there was a point in time where I was juggling both, doing YouTube and doing like a normal job, and still kind of acting like a student, just getting pissed every day and stuff like that with my mates. And my dad at one point was like, you gotta make a choice, you need to decide what you're gonna do. And I think he maybe thought I was gonna stick out with a normal job. And I was like, all right, I've kind of got to try and do this, because...
I seen as well the first YouTube post you made. I don't know if you'll remember this, but it was 2014. It was at the Hawthorns, and you posted just a clip of the fans singing. It was, we're not going to win the league, we're not going to win a cup, we're Man United, we don't give a fuck. Yeah. So that was 2014. United hadn't won the league in 2 years. It's now been at least 12 years since you won the league. So I have two questions. One, when you posted that on YouTube, like, had you had any sort of recognition from anybody, or was that just a random clip you put up onto YouTube?
No, I think that was, so weirdly, I had when I started going to games, early doors, I had a YouTube channel called MUFC Ads. Yeah.
Okay.
Weird. And I used to upload just videos of me walking into the ground.
Singing
Not
songs.
me, but like just my view, my POV of me walking into ground. And about 6 months before I started YouTube, Google did this thing where you had to merge your accounts. And they said, if you don't merge your accounts, you'll lose your YouTube account or something. And I never did it.
Yeah.
So I lost my YouTube account, my original YouTube account called MUFC Ads with all these videos. It even had Scholes' Valley at Villa Park on it, like a really grainy image of it.
That was the best goal I've ever seen
Best goal I've ever seen live as well.
Same as well, yeah.
And then...
That's giving me goosebumps that we were at the same game.
After that, I lost that channel. And so about 6 months later, I started doing YouTube. And I remember my mate used to say to me, we used to watch this thing called NFL Trash Talk, which was basically NFL interviews, but people used to dub them.
Okay.
And put like funny things over the top of
Probably
them.
UK lads talking.
Yeah. And I remember thinking like, I'd love to do something like that on YouTube, but we never ever got around to it. And then I just accidentally fell into it. I was on Facebook at work and I saw like a thing saying, if you're a United fan, get in touch. And I was going to games, so I got in touch. Yeah. And then because I was going to games, I never had no experience, but I'd just be like, yo, let me do this, let me do that. I'll film this for you, I'll film that. And just my eagerness kind of got me into like a position where it just snowballed.
Why do you think? Because I was talking to you a little bit off stream and I was saying that pretty much every show that you've put your name to from the beginning has turned to like relative gold. Like in the space at the time, it's done really, really well. What do you think it is that makes people want to watch Adam McKola talk absolute nonsense about Manchester United? Like, why do you think people enjoy watching it?
because I don't have a filter in it. And I hope to think that I come across genuine in it. Like I've never when I started doing this, I couldn't tell that it would become a career. I couldn't tell it would be lucrative. I didn't know anything. I didn't make any money for a lot of the time, early doors. 2-3 years, I made very little money from it. So it was never a thing, nowadays. And doing fan cams and things like that made me realize like there's a lot of people that just come up to you and think, right, if I do this, I'll get that and I'll become big.
They're doing it to get into the money.
Whereas I never ever did that. Like I never ever thought this could be my job. So it was an accident, but I just loved it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you ever feel pressure because you are what you see on camera and off camera? You just wear your heart on your sleeve. Do you ever feel the pressure with your voice because so many Manchester United fans, like, I don't know if it's like look up to you, respect your opinions, but also in like 2023, like you say the wrong thing and you can get yourself in all sorts of trouble. Do you ever worry about that, or do you just you don't care?
I don't care about that. Obviously, there's a lot of sometimes people put pressure on us to be a certain way or to say a certain thing. Or again, it's like just be yourself. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to force anything. And also, like, I will never be one of these guys that's constantly shouty.
Yeah, it's not your style.
That's just not me, innit?
I have a 7.
I got kicker problems.
Winner.
Finally won a pot then?
Why, did you win all the first spots?
I think so.
Tibby has a bit of a history of giving me big issues, so this is his last warning.
Long may it continue.
if I run into trouble this time, I'm not going to be happy at all. Do you think, when you look back, because I was trying to find questions and moments that people maybe didn't interview you about before, and like you actually, from what I could tell, most of the time, you're the one doing the interviews. You haven't really been interviewed that much now. Maybe I couldn't find them. Maybe there was a few and I just missed them. But I found one from 2017.
400.
And you were talking about being at the Salford City game versus the class of 92. And you just walked around the corner and it was like, I think it was Giggs, Scholes, and Gary
sat
Neville.
on a bench.
And they just sat on a bench. Is that for you the highlight of what you do, or is it just that you don't have to have like a conventional job, or is it the access to people that you just grew up in love with? Like the love that United fans have that grew up in the 90s for their heroes is massive.
Yeah, I mean, that day for me
It's a big flop.
is something that will, like, those moments of, I remember the first ever shoot I did with a footballer, Andy Tate and Brian Robson were on it. And like, Andy Cole's one of my heroes. Like, I couldn't believe what I was doing. I was nervous, shaking, just all over the gaff. And then the same thing that day when I was at it was Salford City's first game under the new Class of 92 ownership. And it was like a friendly against Class of 92 Salford City. And I remember turning around and I remember I was taking a picture with Gary Neville and my hand was going like this. Like my hand was shaking, like that's how important it was to me. Like, and I think I'd be the same if I met David Beckham now.
I've heard you talk about...
If I meet David Beckham and I interview him, I'm finished.
You just quit?
I quit, yeah, quit.
Is there... You mentioned that the first moment that you had with footballers was Andy Cole and Robson. But I actually have watched quite a lot of your interviews over the last couple of years since I got to know you. And if you look at your first ever interviews and your interviews today, like the progression is massive. Like, and the like depth of the interviews. But the Andy Cole one is the one that I enjoyed the most. Is that like the best you've done, do you think? Because he opened up about stuff that I don't think Andy Cole's talked about anywhere else ever.
Yeah, and the thing with Andy Cole is as well, it's weird that like I meet him now and he recognised me and it blows my mind, yeah. Like, it was crazy. I was in the dugout, not in the dugout, in the press zone during the pre-season tour.
This just gone.
Yeah, and whenever Darren Fletcher or Johnny Evans walk past me, they know my name,
right,
they come over and say hello, and it's like, what?
Pinch yourself.
You aren't supposed to know my name, do you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be begging you for a selfie right now, like, and like that kind of stuff just blows my mind, like, all the time. But what was the question?
It was, do you think...
Andy Cole is my favourite interview though. But my Raval Morrison one was good as well.
I've not actually seen that one.
Because the Raval Morrison one, the story of him for me is incredible. Like when you look at the team that he played with, how talented he was, all those kind of things. Like Raval Morrison
Blinds are up
is
this hand.
incredibly, you know, I mean, his story is nuts. What are we on now?
4 and 2.
His story is nuts. But my Andy Cole one, because, yeah, he relaxed with us. He told us things that I don't think he's mentioned before.
Very
like
serious
he spoke about
chat.
his wife and his
like and the
things
kid,
like
the
that.
kidney.
So yeah, Andy Cole, that is my favourite interview. But meeting Cantona was...
So I watched the 2 interviews I actually watched before again, were Cantona and Andy Cole one. And I thought, for a man who might have been screaming inside, you look very calm in the Cantona interview. And I'm just, is there any tingles still? Is there any butterflies, or is it just, it's a day at the office now?
Nah. You know why that was a bit easier for me? Because about 2 months before that, I can't remember the time scale, but a few months before that, some outs there. A few months before that, we met him. So we went to a...
In that 2000.
Takes a lot to get Adam McKola to stop talking. He's got a tough decision.
And then goes all in.
Oh, I call.
And King calls. Showdown, please.
Straights. Chop it up.
Does it not help? I got a 6. I think I should win that. I've got a longer straight.
I actually, if I could rewrite the rules, that would be the rules of poker.
Yeah.
Three pair, beat 2 pair as well.
So where were we?
Eric Cantona, and you're saying, well, it didn't make you that nervous because of something that happened a few months ago.
I was nervous, but because like a few weeks before that, or whenever before that, he had done this show at the Lowry in Manchester. And then me and Steve were having a beer, local. And Cantona just walked past us. And we kind of like flipped the table as we got up and went up to him. And we started just being fanboys. I hugged him about 6 times. But like him and his brother were so nice to us, and they spoke to us for like an hour. They gave us his business card so we could email them. And like, it was kind of like an introduction with them.
The ice got broken, like big
The
time.
ice got broke. And then he released a book and he did an interview on his book. He did like a
book tour.
media day. But he only did 3 interviews. The BBC, The Guardian, and me and Steve. And it was like, what the hell? And then what happened on the day was we turned up bright and early because it's the king, innit? So you got to be there early. And as we've got there, he's come in and said, I'm a bit tired and that. Can I just have some food and a drink before we do this? And we went, you can take as much time as you want.
Yeah, of course.
But in doing that, he's got his food and drink. I've had a Guinness, Steve's got a beer, and he's just sat around the table with us. So now we're chilling with Eric Cantona before the interview, you know what I mean?
There's a zero.
We were supposed to have a 10-minute interview, but it's turned into like an hour chill with him, with a 10-minute interview at the end. So I think that kind of just killed it all. I also find that I just try and just switch. Like inside, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But outside, you just... And it's only those players that get me like that. Like, you know, the old ones. If I meet someone from the current team, like...
Would Ronaldo do it? Because obviously...
Oh, Ronnie would, but Ronnie's
no, of course.
on a different level.
He's the
and
highest, the highest.
Like, if I meet... Like, who's my favourite player in the team right now? Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford.
Your one for Anthony Martial to do well breaks my heart, mate.
Like, he's gonna be all right. But like, if it's them guys, I'm still buzzing in my head.
But you can be like composed.
It's like you're my heroes, but you're not.
You're
not Eric.
What do you think makes you better at interviewing players of that caliber than like other people? Because when I've watched the interviews, like you mentioned with Andy Cole, he seemed very willing to open up. Eric Cantona sat down, had food with you. Why do you think it is that they're willing to do that with you, and other people they're like 10 minutes in, out? Now I know not everyone's like that, but what do you think breaks down the barriers for you?
I think I show that I'm a genuine fan.
That's true.
I think I always try and have some sort of connection with them. Like, I don't know, just I always show my appreciation as well. Like,
they gave you some of the best.
I love you guys. Like,
and it's true.
The amount of time I told Cantona I loved him, or Cole I loved him. Like, one of the things that I like, one of my favourite sayings is, it's like a Kanye West lyric in it. Some people never get the flowers while they can still smell them in it.
Yeah.
And I like to give my heroes their flowers while they're still here in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to catch anybody out. Like I see some United fans or just anyone in general, and every time they ask a question to someone, there's like a negative slant to it. And it's like, what are we trying to do here? Do you know what I mean?
You should be trying to build them up.
And ultimately, I'm just a fan of these guys, and I think it comes across. And I also have this skill, yeah.
Go on, teach me. Come on, this is only interview like 3 or 4 that I've done on this format. So teach me the skill.
If you meet someone that you like, me and you are already friends, and
yeah,
so
of course,
it's fine.
yeah.
We're good friends. We spent a lot of time together. But when you meet someone that's really famous, or a footballer or whoever, one of my skills is to act like you've met them so many times before. So go, oh, how you doing, bro? You good? Nice to meet you. Good to see you again and all that.
Don't shrivel.
Because these people meet so many people, yeah, that they're just going to go, yeah, I think I've met him before, you know. His sound. And you just got to like just approach it. Oh, how you doing? Good to see you again. You're good. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm good.
That charity Christmas dinner 2 years ago was so good.
Yeah. Or they might recognize your face from
most United players
off YouTube and then just
would see you somewhere, right? Like I know you can't assume that like Beckham's sitting at home watching the club on the weekend, but he's probably seen your face somewhere.
Yeah.
And then best friend.
I felt.
Yeah. And for example, like, God bless, I love Jesse Lingard as well. I absolutely love him. He's just a Manchester United fan, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember once it was about 3 a.m. I just got in from a game. I can't remember which one came first, but it was a game where we had lost it. And I remember him DMing me at like 4 a.m. out of the blue. Oh, just watching the fan cams, like I'm so gutted from. And it's like, these like are just fans, you know.
Was this when he was still at Man United?
Yeah. And then there was a time where we'd won a game and he messaged me like, oh, just watching this, just buzzing and that. And it's like, these guys are all just fans, you know what I mean?
Especially people like Rashford,
Yeah.
Lingard. Who else has come through that's there at the moment? Is there any other academy players at the moment shining? You definitely have someone that we're forgetting. McTominay, I guess, not shining, but in there.
He's there, yeah.
I seen on your Instagram that you show a lot of love for Zidane Iqbal, who's left Manchester United this summer. Is he the player, especially as the first British Asian to play for United, is he the one that you wanted to succeed the most?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it break your heart seeing him leave? Or did you know it was time?
I think Raval Morrison was obviously one that, when you look at his pure ability, I wanted him to
Be
make
the superstar.
Because incredible talent. My bluff never got through. He's an incredible talent, obviously. But as a British Asian, as a young kid growing up, like wanting to make it, and then seeing someone that looked like me, you know, play football for Manchester United.
What would it have meant as a kid to see a British Asian playing for United? Would I just been everything?
I can only imagine young kids now, growing up like me, thinking, yo, you can play for Man United. I never used to think I could play for Manchester United back in the day. I used to hope I could, you know, try and do, but it was never ever.
You know,
I like to just make it possible. For example, like, look how many Irish players play for Man United, and now look how big Manchester United are in Ireland. It's like, and that pathway. You think John O'Shea thinks he can play for Man United without
Roy Keane,
you know, Roy Keane and Sammy McElroy and all these other players that have got Norman Whiteside, whoever.
Dennis
like,
Irwin.
There's a pathway there. You know, there's a way that you can see yourself actually making it. I don't think there is much of that in professional football at all. So then see it at Manchester United, one of, if not the biggest club in the world, I think was a game changer. And no matter what Zidane Iqbal goes on to achieve in his career, he would have made the impossible look possible to so
in the Champions
many
League
people.
as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the Champions League. And you know what I found mental about it all, BT Sport at the time focused on Robbie Savage's son, innit, coming on. And they never once mentioned this is the first ever British Asian to play for Manchester United. I was tweeting about it constantly, innit?
Of course, yeah.
But BT Sport didn't acknowledge that. And it was like, in my head I was thinking, you lot are going mad over Savage's son coming on. And think about this. in the time that we've had one British Asian play for Man United, we've had 2 fucking savages.
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah.
that
I
in
know.
itself is mental. Like, you know what I mean? You've had 2 people from the same family come and play for Man United. But out of all of the British Asians, you've not had one. And I just found it weird that they really focused on Charlie Savage rather than Zidane Iqbal. And it kind of showed you how much the issue kind of gets overlooked. Because he was a kid making his debut and no one acknowledged it, really.
Yeah. No,
I just found it mental. But yeah, it was a special moment to see that happen. And I was gutted. I messaged him when he left. I was absolutely gutted. But he's like, I'm buzzing. I can't wait to play regularly and all those
Yeah, that
kind
makes
of
sense.
things.
What is he, about 20, 21?
Yeah, so he needs to play regularly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was weird because he did well on pre-season tour, come back, the manager liked him. The manager wouldn't let him go out on loan, but then he didn't play, so it was like...
Yeah, you have to let someone
You
play.
have to play.
Is that me? Sorry? Is that Adam? Sorry.
You have to play at that
Is
age.
there anyone coming through the academy? Anyone that's British Asian that do you know of off the top of your head? Are you still in touch with
think
the
there will
academy
be-
the way you once were? Or
Sorry?
Would you still know a lot of the academy players coming through, or is it not as much?
I don't watch as much. I
Lines
used
up
to
after
just
the
be obsessed by it all.
Yeah.
I don't watch as much, but I'm aware of what's going on. And I kind of know, and especially when players get really close to the first team. But again, it's like, over the years, we've got so excited over so many different young players. You kind of have to give them,
The chance.
you just have to sit by and wait.
I mean, you just signed a player for £75 million, was it?
Who's that?
The striker.
Rasmus Højlund.
And I seen some very
that's four.
rational tweets from United fans breaking down what Rooney did at that age, breaking down what Ronaldo did, and like the expectation can't be that he comes in and scores Haaland numbers, because Haaland has just made not a fair example for everyone else, because he's a freak of nature. Like, he's a once-off and he's playing in the best team in the world. United aren't Man City at the moment. That's just the reality. Do you think that a player like that will get the time at United these days, or do you think that's passed a little bit?
I think with the manager that we've got at the moment currently, I think he gives us the ability to, you know, kind of... It's a better environment for young players now than it was previously. And I think a lot of the players that you've seen fail over the time.
Full check.
2. A lot of players that you've seen fail over the past couple of years or whatever, I don't think they would have failed under this manager. Like, you know, like the likes of Pogba and, I don't know,
He
some of the
is
signings that we've made, like, they would have flourished under this manager. Like, under
3600H.
under the settled kind of regime that he has at the moment.
He
And
is
we've never
brutal
had
though,
that-
isn't he?
Say
He is
again?
brutal though. Like, he is.
He's very strict.
The way he should be.
He's
No,
on
but I mean,
top.
like,
But we need that.
yeah.
We need that. We need people to want to play for Man United.
What do you need? 200? You mentioned BT before, but I've seen you a couple of times on the overlap. What do you need?
Yeah. I used to do a lot for
sorry.
BT as well.
Did you do a lot for BT?
I mean, they're now TNT. They need to phone me.
That's a great show. One tweet I seen a little while ago, and I feel like you absolutely love to battle on Twitter more than a lot of people. Like, you'll get involved with everyone, but I seen you having a go at Carragher. He tried to fire a shot at Vidic for that performance that he put in versus Torres, but you quite rightly pointed out that he won PFA Player of the Year that year.
Yeah.
And
Only defender to win it twice.
Carragher is not just like some celebrity that you have no word with. Like, he's a colleague, right? And no? Would you not say
kind
colleague?
of.
You both work at Sky.
Maybe, yeah. Well, it's
colleague.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like, you're on speaking to, he'd be just as much as a colleague as me and you would be.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
We're more friends than colleagues, though.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
I do like Carragher, though.
But is it mad to you that, like, when Jamie Carragher criticises Vidic, like, you can call him out and you can put him in his place and he has to kind of acknowledge it? Like, you're not just a random voice.
Yeah, I do find that weird. And you know what's mad? Like, I started a Threads account recently. And he was like just getting onto me on some tweets on there, and it's like, well, some threads on there. It's like, I had to find out, is this actually Jamie Carragher or is it someone running his account? And I heard he runs a lot of his accounts and he's there active on them. And it is a little bit weird that one of the most surreal things I've had was I used to do this podcast every Monday morning that Ian Wright was on.
Okay.
And so I'd wake up on a Monday morning at about 8
Early
a.m.
morning breakfast show kind of thing.
Like the first thing I'd do on a Monday morning, I'd be in bed talking to Ian Wright. And in my head, it'd be like, what the, this is mental. Like, don't you, like this is so mental. So yeah, I do find some of that stuff is crazy, man.
And then pause.
I'm all in.
Fino was all in.
Oh, there we go. We're getting the first little stare down.
I got one good card there. Maybe not yet. You have a pair there?
No. I've not got main chips left, lads. We're getting short here.
I know I am.
We're getting short. Blinds are quick.
I'm taking it easy.
Game 1 out of 5. If you could...
You're distracting me with all the chat.
Well, it's a good chat. I'm getting a proper little insight. There's one question that I got asked on my stream a while ago about Aston Villa. Because it's a little bit different.
6.
You've seen... Hold on, I'll go all in and then we'll chat.
You see my action. Shit.
It's fine. Oh, actually, here. Obviously, I pretty strongly assume that you weren't at any of the games during the treble winning season. Like I assume.
Oh yeah, I was.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, my first game was against Sheffield Wednesday in like 94-5 or 5-6. Won 2-0. So Sheffield Wednesday are a team that I consider.
Was that when Steve Bruce scored the goal late on?
No.
Because that's my dad hates that moment as a Villa fan.
That was 92.
That was the first season, wasn't it? 92, 93.
And then pause.
Yeah, not that one. But my first ever game was Sheffield Wednesday. You know, because obviously I'm from Birmingham, we used to know someone that worked for the Villa ticket office. My dad's mate. And so whenever they used to sort out the allocation for the away end, they used to give me and my dad 2 tickets first. And he used to give me 2 tickets first, so we'd always be in the away end at Villa Park.
For a United game.
Yeah, or the semi-finals at Villa Park or whatever.
They were magic.
So some of the games I've seen there, unreal. Scholes' volley, Van Nistelrooy
Giggs?
from 2-0 down, Giggs.
The halfway line goal.
Yeah,
Against Arsenal, you had it.
I was 10 at that one. Then the one where we beat, remember when they were invincibles? Arsenal were invincibles.
Yeah.
We beat them 1-0 that season in the cup. Scholes scored. Like all those games, Watford 4-1 at semi-final, like just, I'd constantly be at the Villa Park games all the time.
The question I was going to ask you might not be...
And don't worry.
I fault.
2.5 times.
Might not be so good then.
3-4.
Did you call?
I fault. I was going to ask you if you could have a time machine and go to any Manchester United moment, even like you can include before you were born if you want, to relive the atmosphere of a goal. Like which would it have been?
To be at the game?
To be at the game.
It'd be 99. I wasn't at the cup,
Yeah, of
Champions
course.
League final in 99.
Yeah, just to be in the stadium.
So just to be there would have been unreal.
Have you ever done...
Or even 08. So what happened in 08 was I went to every game in 08. Like in the Champions League. No, in the Champions League, apart from the final. So I went to all the games.
Did you
in
just
the
not get a
Champions League.
ticket?
Never got a ticket for the final.
Was that Moscow?
Yeah.
Probably tough.
So like that's one where I was 19 years old as well. So I would have really loved that.
That's heartbreaking.
But watched it in Manchester. It was my birthday just at midnight, so we won it. And then it hit midnight and it was just nuts. It was
Is that when you
crazy.
turned 20 or 19?
So it was 2008. I turned 19.
Some crack. I can't imagine.
Is it on me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, I was
Check,
confused by the
check,
stats then.
Check.
All right.
Check.
I was confused. I was thinking, it's my action.
You got a strong hand over there, Adam.
Great hand now.
He's got me scared. He might have a few 6 deuces and stuff. 600.
I think that's 600.
I'll try to trap you as well, look.
Oh! But I haven't seen anything like that yet, to be honest with you. Where were we?
We were talking about if you could go to one moment. And
99 08. Just to be at one of those finals would be unreal.
Yeah.
Like, I never got to be there, you know what I mean? I've been at a lot of finals in my time. You know, Europa League finals, FA Cup finals, etc. And if I could have been there, all in.
And I'm only 2.5 times.
Oh, dominated.
Domination.
This is 1-0 if we get a jack.
Right.
The first tournament I ever won was with Jack 9 off, so
Ooh.
I'll take a little 7 for a sweat.
Ooh.
GG.
There we go.
Oh, Queen. All right. How much? 2.5? The one question that I asked earlier on, but I asked you two questions at the same time. The first Manchester United game that's on your current YouTube was when you were singing about not winning the league, because it had only been 2 years.
I think I've deleted some videos from before then, you know.
Oh, okay.
Because I started that. I wish I did it. I started it when I started Devils. But I never, ever kind of like all in.
In the morning, think of short and big.
She's right back in it if he wins this one.
Are you getting all the hands today?
Queen.
Oh my God.
Queen.
Oh,
Queen.
my days.
Oh, Tibby, you are getting sacked in the morning, mate. 5.
How them turntables turn.
Now he's winning. But what I was going to ask, you obviously didn't expect when you were having the best time of your life at the Hawthorns singing, we're not going to win the league.
It was, we won't win the league, we won't win the cup, we're Man United, we don't give a fuck.
But obviously at that time you didn't think it was going to be 12, 13 years until you won the league again at the best.
Yeah.
What do you think now? Like, could Manchester United with... Right, Arsenal...
I think Ten Hag will bring it home.
This year?
Maybe not this year. I think he's the manager that brings it home.
What do you need to bring into the team for you to win it this year?
Let them go.
All in.
Think about it.
You got a pair?
No.
I could get there, but let's not.
Blinds are up after Sam. 4,800.
I think he's the manager that brings it home, eventually. I think he'll be given time. And with that time, I think he'll get us closer to City and eventually we should win it. I'm hoping as well Pep does one soon, which will help everyone involved.
Do you think...
But look how close Arsenal got. I think Ten Hag's a better manager
Think of
than
Arteta.
Arteta. I think Manchester United are a bigger club, should be able to attract more players
I agree.
and better players. And hopefully our ownership situation gets sorted out, which means
What's the
we have
situation
owners
there?
that want to win titles. All in.
at the moment.
My fault.
Think of.
This is maybe the longest single game I've played in this format so far. The lads fighting. I think you've got the more chips
I'm
now,
still
right?
fighting for this title, and you've got to go to Middlesbrough and get something.
That was one of the greatest moments in Premier League history. That was like a viral moment before virality really was a thing.
You know, that was viral, and like everyone was repeating it, and everyone knew.
They still do. Like if I'm in a pot and I'm against someone that I know well, I'd be like, I'd love it if I beat him.
And then close.
Another thing that went viral before viral was the thing was your mate Andy Tate. How did he capture the attention of everyone with just a few expressions? Do you think it was just the accent, or do you think it was just like what was it that made
You
it
know what
stand
I
out?
loved about Andy Tate?
Check.
And you know
Check.
what you don't get now is
And they got 1,000.
like a lot of people do this thing and they do their rants to become famous and Andy Tate for weeks and weeks and
Think
weeks
check.
he wouldn't
And then check.
he wouldn't do a fan cam.
What?
So like he'd be coming and watching, and at the end of all the fan cams I go, Andy, you want to do one? And he'd say no every single time.
Was this before he'd ever got big?
Yeah, no, he'd never done one.
Think
Okay.
about 2,000.
But he'd always be there. I've got a spade.
And then close. Show them.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my days! He's put me in my place.
Only went all in.
Oh no.
And yeah, for ages he'd never do it. He'd never do one. And then I went, and then eventually after a bit I went, and I'd always ask him. I'd always ask him at the end
How
when
did you
I'd
know?
finish.
Did you just know? How'd you hear them?
Because he'd just hang around by us watching.
Okay.
Because he worked at the club and that. He was a
Alright.
steward and all this. So he'd hang around. And then there was one where I got, Andy, you want to do one today? And he
Think
went,
of.
yeah, I'll do one. And then
Check.
he did one. And it wasn't the full one. It was the one just before that. Where it was like passion, blood, sweat, tears and all that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Man, he was.
And he was just
good.
so good.
He's-
And it was natural. None of it was forced. It was just his own opinions. Like, he never swore, which I thought was amazing.
Because he was so passionate and so like into
Yeah,
it.
and he would never swear.
Yeah, which is good for going.
And he was just spot on.
But then check. Been bet 1,000. And then close.
And yeah, that was the beauty of Andy Tate. Like, he wouldn't.
Was that what made your original
He didn't
channels
really want to talk.
explode? Like, was it him? What would that be?
I think a large part of it. I remember just after that, I think in the summer just after that, I went to Barbados. And like, this was when like it was first, like I get recognised here and there and that. But I remember like, we got to Barbados late at night, looking for a restaurant to eat, can't really find anywhere, go into the first spot you see. And I sat down and the waiter come out and he went, oh my God, Adam McKola. And I was like,
that blew your mind.
what the? And he was like, oh yeah, I've seen the Andy Tate video and all that. And then there was even a period where I was known as the Andy Tate guy because people would come up to me like, oh, you're the Andy Tate guy, innit? And then eventually, obviously, it changed, but yeah, it was just nuts, man. He obviously sent us on a. But the weird thing about him was he went viral. Like his video got like 300k views,
You know what I mean?
and then everybody else, I missed my straight. Everybody else. So what was I saying? Sorry.
No, it's okay. You're saying 300,000 views on
So
the
yeah,
video.
he got 300,000 views, and there was this guy called Von Strangini or something that used to make what were they called back then? Vines.
Yeah.
And so he used to put Andy's head on different things, like with him, and they kind of made him go viral again, like
Okay.
a couple of months later. And then it went from like 300,000
He
views
had
to
his
a
own,
million views.
I feel like he had his own soundboard on
There was
a
a
polyphonic,
soundboard
on a polyphonic
Some
ringtone.
student had just started making it and that,
That's
which was mental. And it was number one on the Apple thingy for ages.
And he goes.
Check.
You check.
Yeah, he was number one app. That was when it was difficult to be number one app because you had like doodle jump and all that stuff.
You check.
What's it like if you go to a game these days? Because obviously you said it was a bit mad that someone recognised you, but you're just in America. Manchester United fans everywhere. You getting spotted a lot? Getting stopped for chats?
Yeah, I love it, man. Like, Steve loves it, but Steve finds it overwhelming. And so he likes to just sit on his own and sit back and get out.
You want to
But
get
me,
out.
I get stuck in with people.
Sure.
I don't mind all that kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, like, when I'm in the press zone, I want to get into the fans. I don't want to be in the press zone.
Finale.
I've got something.
I've got nothing.
Never trust a person that says that. I'd have called immediately if you went, I've got the bollocks
I don't
here.
touch the board. Not a single bit.
Adam, show down.
I told you I didn't
Give
touch
me
the
an
board.
I've got outs.
10, 6 or an 8.
8. Oh.
Easy. I told you I wasn't touching
How
the
are you
board.
getting all these pairs? Is it possible?
6,000.
Aces, queens. I think that's done, innit?
Yeah.
No, you got more.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. The fight back was on.
I'm all in.
Finale.
Oh, it's a quick call. I got aces.
Oh,
No, I'm joking.
are you just keeping your cards every hand? Oh,
Jack.
Oh my days.
Jack. 6.
10.
Diamonds are no good. Oh my god.
24.
It's like a plane. Plane mileage on it. 220k miles on the clock.
I'm surprised the thing was still running.
Yeah.
That's like 300,000 kilometers. That's
Like
insane.
I'm Gujarati, yeah. So I was like, I ain't buying a new car till this one's done in. You know what I mean? Like rocking this till the wheels fall off. And that's exactly what I did.
I am all in.
Finale.
We are all in.
Show down.
Can we make it 1-0? Come on.
Come on, the nines.
Come
Come
on.
on, the
Good
nines.
luck, guys.
Tibby.
Give me a 9. Oh,
That's a great flop.
10.
Tibby.
10.
It's 1-0 in Dublin to Fint in hand, and I absolutely love to see it.
Absolute
Trips.
disgrace.
Beautiful stuff. Unlucky Adam. Are you a bad loser?
I'm a shit loser.
Yeah.
You know when, so we went to the Bahamas, innit?
Oh, I forgot that. Honestly, like, I just
And
forgot
obviously
you were there.
I remember getting your video, bro. I was so happy. And
For those who don't know, the Bahamas was a $25,000 tournament by PokerStars that last minute, and I mean like last minute, I sent a message to Adam and Rory saying, if you can get out to Bahamas within 36 hours, you get to play a 25K.
I just booked my flight like
The boys were
the second I
panicking.
said it.
Anyway, it is 1-0, best out of 5, and Adam was talking about when he went to play the 25K in the Bahamas with PokerStars.
Yes, and I remember like just being in dreamland that I was in the Bahamas.
Field race 400.
And then I was playing really well, yeah.
Did you make day 2?
I made day 2. I was coming towards the end of day 2. I was sitting on a big boy stack, yeah. And the pot that was happening would have made me like, put me in the like top 10%
Top 10,
or
yeah.
something like that. Just,
Yeah.
And I got rivered, yeah, like by a straight or something like
You had
that.
jacks, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I had a set of jacks and then I got rivered by a straight or something. And like, I'd never been so devastated in all my life.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
No, laugh, yeah, because it's fucked up. I've never been so devastated in all my life. I wanted to go home like that minute, yeah. I was in the Bahamas,
Man,
bro.
he
Like,
didn't even. I
the
remember
Bahamas
I
is
seen
so
you and I was like, "Do you
beautiful.
want to get a drink?" And Rory was still in, and you were like, "Oh, I just can't talk right now."
I was sick to the stomach, bro. But I'm like that whether it's 25K, a K,
The thing is,
500
though,
euro, whatever the buying is, I'm like that, yeah. But
it is a lot of money though.
yeah, it's-
Like if you had won that pot, not to make you feel worse, but like we saw how much Rory cashed for.
I would have just sat tight, for 2 days.
I would have went down to the pool. I would have like, call me when I'm in the money.
Yeah, blind me out to the money. Like that's what I would have done. But yeah, again, like anything can happen. You can get aces
Good
next time,
experience, though.
get cracked. Yeah. It was a great experience, but
Out of all the people that PokerStars put into the poker tournaments, I feel like you and Rory might be the two that love it the most.
yeah.
Where did that come from? Have you always enjoyed poker, or is it like?
No. So when we started, yeah,
Because I played against you on the show before, and
Yeah.
like, you were getting into it then, but like I don't think it was as passionate as it is now.
I wasn't very good then either,
And the race 400.
and I have been learning. I get addicted to like I watch a lot of your content,
Field
Spraggy's
race
content.
1400.
Got a hand, have we? I watch a lot of your guys' content, so I always feel like I'm learning, yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just
don't
like,
watch too much of Sprague's then.
yeah,
No, right.
so you just learn what not to do, innit? And the way you guys
Field race
speak
800.
speak through the hands and stuff.
You raise flops when.
Raise
Ah, look at him. He's using my own tricks against me.
Field falls.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, so I started watching just loads of content after we were playing. And remember the first ever thing we did was during COVID, online.
Oh,
I had like a hand ranking chart here. Like, all right, is this good? A pair? Is a pair better than a straight? All right. Like, that's what I was doing, yeah.
Oh, you've done. I thought you might have been playing for years. Like I'm
No,
not like just blowing
I've
smoke up
played
your
once
arse,
or
but you
twice
do
with
all
my
right. Like
friends. But like, again, like it was all with
Field race 400.
rankings and stuff there.
And then course.
And then I just got the bug, started learning. And then people are going to us, all right, you can win extra money when you're on these shows. It's like, if I don't try and learn about this game, I'm stupid, you know what I mean? Because I can
Free
earn
one.
a couple of grand every show.
Yeah.
So then I started taking it seriously, watching a lot of things, watching videos. I was falling asleep to the sound of chips, you're just watching YouTube videos and people are just playing with chips and you're like, this is amazing. I remember the Irish Open, not the last one, the year before that, I watched the whole
Every
final
single-
table,
yeah.
when O'Dwyer won it and all that.
Just going all in every
I was
hand.
just watching the whole thing, like, and I just got the bug for it, playing
I think it's the
online.
best game ever invented.
And then
like,
live now, I don't play online anymore because live's the shit.
Yeah.
Like, live is, I just
I'm
love
going
it.
to EPT Barcelona and I'm going to UGIPT Brighton, so I hope I'll see you.
I'm going to be in Barcelona.
You're going to be in Barca. H is going to be in Barca as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Barcelona's my favourite one.
Yeah, Barcelona's amazing. My favourite one as well. Have you been to Prague yet?
I've been to Prague, but not for the poker.
The Prague EPT is fantastic.
And then that's 600.
Prague's a great city though, just for like
No, it's amazing.
going for some fun and going for a few drinks or whatever. Prague's amazing.
Gotta be careful what I say with the missus there about Prague,
And then
Got-
bingo.
Is there ever a tournament in Amsterdam?
There's not with PokerStars because there's regulation issues, but Hopefully they will be solved soon because Amsterdam and poker is a magical combination. And we got engaged in Amsterdam. We love Amsterdam.
Yeah, I love going there.
I love it. I'm going to check. I've got Queen High.
Queen check. Queen high.
5.
You wouldn't have folded if I bet though, would you? I bluffed you once and you just called me and my confidence.
Sometimes
was shook.
when you bet, I think
I'm not having that.
he's betting because he's worried there.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah, I love Amsterdam. Me and my missus go there a lot. What are we on?
1 in 200.
Have I taken all your blues off? You're sorry.
Yeah. You're talking pretty aggressively for a man who's losing.
For a geezer who's shitting himself playing this game.
15.
Ooh!
I'm coming out aggro this time.
Now you're scared.
I am scared.
Now you're thinking, what the hell has he got?
Okay, that's 5 for me.
You're going to raise me twice in a
And
row.
then raise 12 for me.
Come.
Queen.
Look at him, he's already picking up chips to put in on
I was
the
gonna give him
turn.
some change.
Yeah. Coiled over there.
Queen check. And I'm at 1500.
All right, big pot. The silence is here. The biggest pot of the day so
Start
far.
talking to me if you want.
I'll give it all away. Parker was here and he told me that if I talk too much, I tell everyone what I have. I check.
Queen check.
All in.
And then 1.
What you got, Adam? What have you got? Do you want the bad news or the good news?
The great news.
You know,
That's bad news.
Two bear. Slow roll. You bluffing me? You cheeky.
I was trying to get it through, innit?
I didn't want to stall you early for too long because I've seen how mad you get at Boovie.
2000.
And I didn't want to.
I'm
bring
actually
it.
gutted about it.
I should have slow rolled a bit longer. When I watch you on the club, obviously I've been on the club with.
What do you like? Do you like it when you're on there, or do
I
you just
love
feel
it,
like
mate.
you're in the midst of?
No, I love it.
madness?
So the first time I was on, Rory wasn't there, right? And I
Yeah.
was on with you and Boovie, and then the other time, who did
You replaced Boovie.
I replaced Boovie. I love it, mate. I think it's great. But when I watch you get so upset at Boovie and Rory when they're winding you up, I'm like, how does he let them get him every time? Because they get you. Like, what is it about them that makes you get so upset?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I know Rory's talking shit, and I know Boovie's talking shit, and I know they're doing it to wind me up.
Queen raise
But
100.
you've also got to acknowledge, yeah,
Yeah.
that if I let them wind me up, or I let them just talk shit and it slides, it's out there, and people are gonna go to me. Oh,
You're fighting for your
why did you
name.
let him say that? Or why haven't you addressed that? Or what? And if I go, because I know they're talking rubbish, it's like, and sometimes it just does my head in. Like, do you actually mean what you're saying? And so I need to challenge it. I can't stay quiet. But that's how I've always been. So I guess I'm perfect in the perfect job.
Who do you think has got better ball knowledge, Boovie or Rory?
I think Rory,
You think Rory?
because he's just more old school in it. So I think he's seen a lot more. He knows a lot more. Like, I think Rory.
Boovie's only young, right?
And then check.
Boovie's very young. I know he looks older than me. And
He's
Rory.
only been supporting United for about 2 years.
City.
Or City for 2 years, right?
Queen check.
No, I'm joking. I asked him in person. He won't be impressed with that.
Nah, he's been supporting them a long time, but they've been shit for most of his life, innit? So he's very uncomfortable with
Ace high.
Check. Queen check.
missed everything.
Ooh, clubs would have been bad. Adam, you're in big trouble here.
2-4.
I can't let you clean sweep me
Oh,
here.
mate, if you get clean.
Was it 2-4?
2-4.
Check.
Queen check.
Yeah, so also I'm like, I grew up in a school where we just argued constantly about football. I remember like me,
Queen check.
my best mate Ammon, one of my friends Levi in school, he's an Arsenal fan. We used to get into it all the time, and then all my other mates like Man United, Liverpool, this, that, and the other. Like even though we grew up in Birmingham,
And then
Villa were quite underrepresented.
Yeah, it's interesting because we actually weren't even bad in the 90s. You know, we were pushing
I'm
for the
pretty
league
good. Always
title,
challenging for
always
the
top
leagues.
5, top 6.
John Gregory, Brian Little, and then
Yeah,
man.
we're doing well. Won 2 League Cups, beat you twice. Oh no, beat you once, beat Leeds
Okay.
once. 500.
In bet 5.
He's paid me off here, Tibby. He's paid me off here.
Cool.
He's paid me off here.
I thought he was trying it.
One thing that I didn't ask.
Is that a stupid call there?
No.
With that king?
No,
Nah.
it's a good call, honestly.
Because I was thinking.
No, because I could be just trying to buy it with the boards.
Yeah.
You know, even if you just had ace, 9, queen, which is, you know, the board, it's fine to call. It's heads up, man. Can't just let people be bluffing you too much.
Like you're the only one that keeps getting aces and queens.
I've
never seen anyone else do that before.
yeah.
In heads up, constantly.
Cool.
I brought my own deck if we can use that. Is that right?
Is there anything apart from interviewing David Beckham, which feels like your holy grail, like you're impossible to reach past? I'm not saying it is impossible, but it just feels like the one thing. I've talked to you a few times. You know, it's like if I interview Bex, I'm done. Is there anything else? I'm sure you've played on Old Trafford, have you? Yeah.
Scored.
Look, you've played, you've scored. Is there anything left on the to do in that world? I know you want to keep making great content, but
I'd love to like be in a position where people want to be interviewed by me, or like it's an important thing for them to be. You kind of get where I'm coming from,
understand what
right?
you're saying.
Where people go, actually, I want to be on his show.
the Joe Rogan of the football YouTube world, sort of.
But and I think you can get there by being someone that I look up to is Andy Mitten.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I know
him?
Andy Mitten, yeah.
Like a lot of people within football will know who he is, but a lot of people within the YouTube world won't.
Okay.
Because he's not that guy that's just in your face. But he's been grafting since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Doing this. Fanzines are very similar to YouTube, even if they don't like to pretend they're not. Fanzines are very similar in that they're just platforms for opinions.
Yeah.
And I think Andy Mitten has shown that you don't have to be clickbait. You don't have to be, you know, everything that's wrong with the industry, and you can still go very far, and you can still be credible, and you can still be someone that people want to sit down with and have a chat with. And I think we've kind of got into that position with some people, but
You definitely like it would.
I want David Beckham to go, I need to be on that. Like, you know, like it'd be a good look for us to be on there.
Or at least if he's
fans.
going to interview with anyone
Yeah.
in the football world, you want to be. I would say in the United space, you must be pretty close to that.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to the fact that we are just genuine Manchester United fans. Sometimes we criticise players, but never is it abusive. Sometimes we, you know, get things wrong, but it's always coming from a good place, not coming from a position of.
Do you feel any pressure about that because you know two sides of it? One, you might want to interview them one day, and two, they're probably going to see it. Like if you go on a rant,
they see it.
and yeah, that's what I mean. So like I don't want to be like assumptuous, but like if you go on a rant about, I don't know, Scott McTominay, and like he's just a young lad sitting at home. Like, do you feel any of that pressure as you're?
I'd only ever say things on camera that I'd say to their face. So
That's a good way to be.
do you know what I mean? Like I've never.
You're not being a bully.
All right, there's been times where I've maybe gone, oh, he's shit or whatever, watching a game. Do you know what I mean? But generally,
It's the same way he'll
my
tell his
opinions
teammates
are
shit when he's
usually
playing with him.
purely football based, never personal, and never like he's a prick or
Yeah.
laying in someone because of like I always try and keep it football. And as long as you do that, if they don't like it, then that's fair enough, innit? Like, what can I do? You're not going to be liked by everybody, but hopefully people see that he just cares about football. Like he's not trying to just.
I get that off you, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You wear your heart on your sleeve. So you basically, would it be fair to sum it up saying that, like, in your mind, it's not, you don't want to win by clickbait in terms of titles and stupid faces. Like, you wanted, like, almost like to be high level journalism.
Yeah, or just pure emotional fan stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I never want to be. I hate when people call us journalists. I'm not a journalist.
Okay, sorry, but just the way you were talking.
No, but you know what I mean? I'm not a journalist. Like, I haven't trained all my life for this.
Oh, we in
Exactly
trouble
what
there.
I wanted to see then.
We all in, are we in trouble? Oh man, if I win this one, he might walk out. If I win this one, it's 2-0. That's a bad start.
Oh, God, he's picked up
He's got a few out.
He's picked up the straight.
Oh no.
Oh, my days.
Adam, it's 2-0.
That's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic. You shouldn't be allowed to win with that hand.
Oh, 2-0. Do you want another beer before we go for
I haven't
entry?
even got through it. You trying to ply me up? Yeah.
All right, 1-200. It is 2-0. If you lose this one, it's game over.
No, I ain't losing this.
You've flown all the way over to Dublin and you've just been absolutely washed 3-0. That'd be pretty embarrassing. I've not washed anyone. I've only beat one person. Sorry to be putting you under pressure, kid.
You lost against Spraggy.
Lost Spraggy, lost Tonka, beat Rory. Haven't done any other official.
What was the score against Rory?
3-1.
So you never played the fifth?
No, because no.
Jesus, that's a bad
3-1, yeah. No, Rory won the first one as well, and I was honestly shaking. I was shaking. Like if Rory
gets where water can't, you know. He is a special boy, bro.
Rory Jennings, I think, is one of the smartest content creators.
I love Rory so much.
So do I.
Like, I've known him since we started this together, around the same time. Yeah, I adore Rory. He's
I was
an amazing
with
person.
my wife's little brother the other day, and his friend is a big Newcastle fan. And I mentioned that I was doing the interview with you.
And he went, why not Rory? Adam's shit.
No. And he was like, do you know
Raised.
Rory Jennings?
Yeah, raised.
And I was like, yeah, I know Rory. And he was like, I absolutely hate him. And I was just like, how can you hate him? He just has.
But I get that, you know, because before I met Robbie Savage, I hated Robbie Savage because of his opinions, because of how he was as a player. And then you meet these people and you're like, they're harmless. Like, it's just football. Do you know what I mean? It's like playing football. So many people would hate my persona on a football pitch.
I can admit, I played five-a-side with you and you were going down the back of my heels a few times.
Yeah, like, I'm there to win.
And then race, 400.
But the reason why I think he's a genius is that there's not too many people that go, Rory Jennings, is that right?
Yeah.
It's like people really either love him or hate him.
Yeah.
And I think if you're making content and you're in the space, you don't want people to just think you're vanilla.
Yeah.
Like you want them to feel strongly about you because then they're going to click on you either way. And I don't think Rory does it like, so to speak, for like clickbait. Like, so I love Boovie. I think Boovie's an incredible creator. But the odd time he says something that's just so out there and he knows it is, he knows it'll spark reaction. Whereas I think Rory, like I think when Rory was talking about Haaland, for example, I think he believed that, right?
Erling Haaland will not live up to the expectation.
I don't think he...
We had a conversation about, because I kind of agreed with him at the time, that there's no guarantee this guy comes in and scores goals.
I think if you put me or you up top for Man City, you might guarantee goals. Like honestly.
Yeah. Did you see that conversation on All In?
You love me. The little wink. Oh. Nah, you got it.
I've definitely got it if I'm going all in.
What are you going to say? The conversation?
Again?
You said did I see the conversation? We were talking about I think you were going to talk about scoring goals up top for Man City, was it?
Yeah. So we had a conversation before and I kind of agreed with him that it's very difficult. But there was a conversation on Filthy Fellas. You watch Filthy Fellas?
Sometimes.
It's my favourite show on the internet. And they had this list of players that would score 30 goals at City, and it was like all these crazy strikers, you know.
Yeah.
But I half kind of agree with it that a lot of these players would do that. What was it on?
400.
Adam has come out firing. And he's like, I'm gonna fold. He's not getting washed this time. You had a big one there, did you?
I had one big one.
I reckon if you put me into any other team in the Premier League except Manchester City, I score no goals. So I think if you put me into Manchester City, I do.
Did you see that question that was on Twitter? And it was like, you either get £1 million
or 10 million if you score.
Or 10 million if you score a goal in the league or something.
Over 38 games.
Yeah.
Give me I'm gambling on myself.
Weghorst didn't score a league goal.
Yeah, for Man United though. You don't create the chances that Man City do. So I wouldn't take that bet for any team except for Manchester City. But if you put me in the Manchester City team, look at the amount of goals. Like, no, obviously, I'm not. I got to word this very carefully before someone thinks I'm criticising him. I think Raheem Sterling's a good player, but he won't score anywhere near the goals he did for Man City on any other team because
he's not.
The only thing is, I'm not very fit. You know, I'm not going to be able to outrun this.
But we assume in this scenario you'd be training every week with them.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah. But you're still not going to, you're still going to be slower than the fastest. Sorry, you're still going to be slower than the slowest defender by a good bit. So it's like, oh yeah, Sterling got at the back post. Mate, you're not getting at that back post before them. But I just think, first of all, it'd be a great story if you took the gamble.
Yeah, of course.
I wonder
think I'd score.
how hard do you think it is to score a penalty against a Premier League goalkeeper? Like, I don't think it'd be easy, but I don't think it'd be like... If you've played ball, I think it's not.
As long as you send them the wrong way, you're all right. I think it's the nerve that would kill you. So it depends on the situation. So, for example, I've played on some professional pitches, yeah. And just the thought that you are on Old Trafford or you're at whatever stadium, it makes your legs feel heavier. It makes everything feel more difficult.
I missed a penalty in not the biggest stadium in Dublin, but at the time it was the biggest club. It's a club called Shelbourne, and I had a penalty in a cup final there, and like took the worst penalty you've ever seen. Like, and it would like I fancied myself penalties, but it's what you're talking about. It's just nerves.
The race, 400.
Or it's just the
14.
oh my God,
Yeah,
what is
14.
going on here?
Yeah, like you're in an actual stand with a stadium.
And then
So what would you do? Would you take the 1 million quid or would you take the 10 million gamble?
38 games.
38 games.
90 minutes.
90 minutes every game. Unless you get yourself injured.
That's the, you know what, I'd take the money and run. Especially after I've spent a season watching Bart Vegas. Jesus, he was bad.
I'll follow the 7 news to you.
There were times where you look at him and you're like, oh my God. I remember he scored a goal for us and he looked like he was going to cry.
Oh, he
And it was like, if your striker's crying because he scored, that is a big problem.
Yeah, it is a big problem. We're 2-400, are we?
not yet.
Oh, no, 1-200, sorry. Sorry, I forgot I made it 2-0. I forgot it was 2-0 on that game
Oh, I
reset.
forgot, did we?
Do you watch much of the other United content? Like, do you care about it? Is there ever a tented beef amongst that, or do they stick to themselves mostly?
Big check.
I get along with the United View lads. I don't have an issue with United Peoples. There's some I get along with, some that I just don't care about, never will.
Yeah.
But I don't really watch much content, to be told.
You're making too much content, probably.
Like
to watch
the
too much.
ones that I watch are just completely different to anything I do. Like Filthy Fellas,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example. I watch that. I like watching Troy Deeney's podcast at the moment.
He's even though he's blue, he's very honest. Like he
Yeah.
reveals a lot.
Feel for it.
We saw Troy Deeney at Silverstone, yeah.
Oh,
Like, that
really?
sentence there is mental. And he come up because he's from Birmingham and that. I've met him a few times before, so I'm not going to say he knows me, but he's aware of me, innit? So we said hello to each other. And then he saw Rory pop out from behind me. And he went, "The king of TalkSport" to Rory. I was like, Jesus Christ, Rory. But everybody knows this guy's the king.
I know.
This is one of my favourite hands here. This is one of my favourite hands.
Check. Clean check.
Check. You seen if you got a roll flush, mate?
Check. Clean check. I can bet 1,000.
Yeah, but all. So you connect with that hard? Yeah, pretty hard. Pretty hard. Do you enjoy doing the more, I don't know if professional is the fair word, but you know, like the legacy, the old school, like being on Sky or being on BT or being on TalkSport? Like, do you enjoy doing that more, or do you enjoy just having the boys like you, Boovie, and Rory, just like no holds back?
I'd rather be with Rory and Boovie, or I'd rather be a guest on Filthy Fellas, or I'd rather be... Is this 2 and 4 now, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd rather be... I love doing the overlap.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool show.
I love doing that. But you know, like if you're telling me,
1,400.
do you want to be on TalkSport on the phone, or do you... Like, I'd rather be doing my own shit.
Yeah.
Like, as good as doing that stuff is,
It's very good for getting your name out there as well.
and all those kind of things. And the show that I used to
Lines
like
up
on
this
TalkSport was the Sports Bar when Goldstein and Cundy done it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I haven't done that since. Like, I'll do something if I enjoy it. I'm not going to do it just because I'm being asked to do it.
Yeah. Was there a time when we, a while ago, we were talking about when you're on the Free Now show
Yeah.
and you would do anything to get on the TV? Was there a time when you were seeking out every opportunity for a radio station, or did you always kind of let it come to you?
I'm a shit networker, innit?
You need an agent.
Like
kind of thing.
you're probably you'd probably be surprised by that because I don't know. You see me at these poker events and I'm all over the place talking to everyone, having a good time. That's because I genuinely like people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I find it very difficult to go into a room and then just start networking and get into work mode and try and tap this guy up and tap this guy up. I think my hard work and what I do should attract you to me, and if it doesn't, I don't give a shit. Which is bad. I acknowledge that's a bad way to look at things. Because you should be like forcing things, you know what I mean? That's where how some people get further than... Some people get places and you think,
how have they got there?
how are they doing that? Because their videos don't really get views and they're not very relevant, but it's because they just pecked someone's head off at a meeting and they got in the door. And if I was better at that, I'd probably be...
Is there any
in more places?
You obviously get press passes with United, right? Like,
for some games, like pre-season, it's difficult to get them for re-race 16.
I was being cheeky. Get punished. Nice.
It's difficult to get them for Premier League because you need like holders' rights and all those kind of things, like Premier League, Champions League.
Okay.
But Europa League...
Is there any way you getting that?
Carabao Cup? Not really. It's very difficult, isn't it? Unless like BBC or someone assign me as a journalist or something, that's not going to happen, innit? So like they'll give us access on pre-season
Do you think
tours.
that'll change? You know the way, like, I feel like obviously there's still so much money in the TV rights, but I feel like podcasts and online content is becoming more and more a part of the conversation. Like, do you think that could change in the next 5 years, or do you think?
I think it is changing, and clubs are realizing they need to work with us.
Yeah.
There used to be a stage where United wouldn't work with us because we were very anti-Glazer. Now we're still anti-Glazer, and that will never change. But they kind of acknowledge they have to work with us because we're an important voice, do you know what I mean? See, and so what also pisses me off is they'll go to us, we don't, we can't work with them because they say X or Y or Z or whatever. But then they'll work with the journalists from The Sun and all those things.
Yeah.
They're
much
constantly,
less credible.
you know what I mean? They're less credible. They're always looking for a story. They don't care about the club. And so you're kind of like, hold on. You can't treat us like that and then treat them like that. But that's how it works, I guess, isn't it?
It would be cool to see you.
But I'll be honest with you. I'd much rather be in the stands.
Do you still...
It's not important.
You go
to
a
me.
lot still, don't you?
I have a season ticket holder, yeah. I go every game.
Every home game?
Unless
there's
we're doing
big
a show on the club or something.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is I need to be at the game.
Why do you feel like that? Because
that is... One, it's important to me.
it's the reason you got into it. You love United, right?
800. Yeah, and like I never want to stop being the guy that's at the games. Like I want to be at the game. Makes my opinion more important for starters, but I just love it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Is it your favourite place in the world to be?
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
It's like I realise I could do this job from any country in the world, but it's not the same if you're not at the games.
And you have to stay beside your mum.
Yeah. Unless my mum comes, it's not happening.
You bluffing me. You bluffing me. Oh, cheeky. All right, so I've got 5,600 chips.
Told you, Villa Park, FA Cup. Rue Van Nistelrooy is just warming up.
Gun to your head for this season. What are the expectations?
It's going to be better than last season.
Last season wasn't bad.
It's going to be better than last season. United finished second minimum. And we get another trophy.
United finished second minimum.
And we get another trophy.
Head up.
All in.
Final.
Jesus.
Lions up to 3,600.
6
Yeah, I think we'll be a lot better this season. You look at the fact that we've just brought a new goalkeeper, Andrea Nana. I think he's going to be a huge addition.
Did you think it was the right time to let Mr. De Gea go?
Yes. Unfortunately, yeah. I wish he got a chance to say goodbye to us in the stadium and things like that,
He did deserve that.
which is a shame.
Final.
But yeah, I think it's the right time. He cost us too many games, too many moments. And I think if you just look at the way, we want to play football. You already seen, there's a few times where you get, the ball goes to De Gea and he's umming and ahhing, he doesn't know where the pass is going to go. The players don't know where to go. And if you look now, Andre Onana fizzes the ball out his feet.
Champions League final, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, and there'll be a few moments where,
He's going to mess up every now and then.
yeah, because we're going to be playing the right way and he's going to get caught. But there'll be the net positive will be huge. And then you look at, we did all of last season without a striker.
I think that's 600.
We did all of last season without, Martial was injured constantly. Wout Weghorst is, may as well have a due up there.
Pin check.
Trying to make it 10 million.
Put them back 1200.
I'm feeling
Final.
big pot. Big pot. Oof.
Pin check.
4.
Pin check.
Jack High.
What do... You said that you think Ten Hag is going to be the man that brings the title back to United. You didn't say it really this year, but when you look at the United squad right now, goalkeeper has been addressed. One of the striker roles has been addressed. What is left to turn you into a team that can compete with City outside of Pep Guardiola leaving Manchester? Like, if you're going to beat a Pep Guardiola team, what's left?
Just getting strength in depth, I think is so important. Like, if you look at United at the moment, one injury to Casemiro, one injury to Martinez, you pick a key player, Rashford, one injury to any of those players and we're doomed. Whereas City, if they get an injury to Haaland, for example, Julian Alvarez can come in, who's going to score you goals.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have the luxury of that in too many
they're
positions.
one of the best defences in the world and they just signed
Exactly.
Guardiola.
But I do think City might start slow this season. They've let so many players leave. And then they've got, new players coming in. They're going to have the Club World Cup. You don't know. They might start slowly this season. So I think we need to be at it, up for it. But yeah, strength in depth's important. Mount was a good signing, I think. If you get someone like Amrabat, we've been linked with him. You've got a replacement for Casemiro. You've got someone that can play next to him. I think if Maguire goes, we need another centre-back. As much as I love Johnny Evans. And he's signed a 1-year deal.
It is funny that you signed Maguire in the first place when Johnny Evans was better than him at the time.
I was saying that then.
Were you, yeah?
I was saying Johnny Evans should have been United captain. Back then.
Check. I think that's 700.
Like, I genuinely thought Johnny Evans should have been United captain at one point.
I mean, he was incredible for Leicester. I don't think he wasn't there when they won the league, right? He went the year.
No, just after.
year
But the
after.
back end of his United career, he didn't play well for us. But
It was a mess. The club was all over the place.
he wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
And he was better than Smalling, better than Jones and all that.
Sorry, no disrespect to Jones, but the fact that he was at United for so long shows everything that was kind of wrong.
Yeah.
1200.
And I think those things are changing now as well.
Yeah, Ten Hag.
He's got it under control a little bit.
What did you think about the way he managed Ronaldo? I'm sure you've talked about that before, but
I think it was the right thing
Pin check.
that happened.
does that hurt you to say?
Yeah.
Pin check.
I don't think Ronnie should have come back.
And then that's 1000.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
I think
I was
Solskjaer-
there
I think
screaming for it at the time.
I think
I'm not gonna-
Solskjaer would still be there if Ronnie hadn't came back, and I think Sancho would have had a good year. That is a what's your right then? That's a big what if. What's your big hear me out for United? Like, if you could do one thing that most people would disagree with, like, what's your big hear me out? Do you have one of them? You usually have an opinion or two up your sleeve.
I think, I don't know if this is really, what is it, 600, yeah?
He calls.
So he calls, I raise 12.
Raise 12. He calls.
I think Marcus Rashford, and I've been saying it from his debut, will break Wayne Rooney's goal scoring record. I think that's going to happen. But I also think, you know, like Martial, Rashford, some of these players, you know, if they played for Fergie, you're looking at some of the best players in the world, bro. I'll be honest with you.
But Marshall is made of cheese strings.
He is made of cheese strings, but
Pincheck.
I don't think anyone doubts Marshall's quality though.
he's got so much ability. And that's what kills me, man.
Pincheck. Adam check. Queen bet 15.
Oh, you're trying to nick it here. 350 for call, you're not.
I got you this time.
Jack High.
Oh, the disrespect. You call me with a pair of fours. If you call me with Jack High and you're right, I think you automatically win. Check.
Pincheck.
Check.
Pincheck. And then check.
How do you find the world of like football content to poker? Like it's more vitriolic, isn't it?
So there's two things.
And then check.
For about 5 years, I streamed 40, 50 hours a week on Twitch. And like the
Queen
access,
And
sorry,
then check.
Adam wins.
Eight.
So people had way more access to me when I was streaming on Twitch, right? Whereas now I mostly make short content. And I would say 50%, maybe more. Actually, maybe more. Maybe like 80% of the people that watch my short content don't even know my name. You know, because it's just addicted to footy. My name's not anywhere. I don't think I've built the same relationships with people. But what I found out quickly, making poker content versus football content, and this is why I stepped away from Villa content in particular, is that if someone comes into my stream and says,
He calls.
"You're shit at poker, mate,"
And then check.
or "That's the wrong thing to do," I don't have to listen to their opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care, right? But if I say Ollie Watkins is the best Villa striker that ever has been, every Villa fan's entitled to an opinion to say that's wrong. And I have to try and listen to it and be a voice of reason if you're going to be in the space. And for me, the best way I always had with dealing with like hate was just ignoring it and not acknowledging it. And I found it hard to like accept opinions because some of the people coming with the opinions, like they were just the way they were chatting, it was just nonsense.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be empathetic and I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. So I think like the accepting that like I can't be right about Villa, right? Because it's just opinions. Whereas if someone like says something about me and like my relationship with like hate or whatever, I know what the right thing is. So I found it different into that, and it was a hard adjustment. But I love making football content. I love telling football stories. I'd love to be the Villa guy, but I don't think I'm capable of.
And then morning.
Ooh, he's bluffing, Tibby. He's bluffing, but my hand's so bad. If I had a little better hand,
Mr. Set of Sixes over there.
is that good on its own? It might be. Do you have 9-8 or Queen 9? I fold. I fold. Was he bluffing? He was, wasn't he? I had a Queen 10. Yeah. The other thing that I find in the football world, I love doing the club, and I've been invited a few times. I actually got asked to be the Villa fan on the overlap this year by Mr. Elliott behind the scenes, but I couldn't do it. I feel like there's a lot more of you having to play games of like, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine in that world to get known. Whereas in poker, it was just more, you could just be your own thing. But that's good and bad, because in poker, everyone is out there fighting for themselves. And like the top poker streamers would never have their mates on and help them build each other. Whereas I think like you guys, I'm all in.
Short notice.
So I made the right call no matter what happens.
If you lose this one as well, you're running bad.
Son of a gun. No. No. Absolutely.
Tibby's getting a raise, never mind getting sacked.
2078.
That is a disgrace. Even that pissed me off.
Yeah, I know, I can tell. I'm actually a little bit embarrassed to be winning as much as I am.
Sorry.
Do you still, you have, do you have Irish blood, or am I wrong?
No, my mom's from Belfast.
Your mum's from Belfast?
Yeah, Ardoyne. So, yeah, I used to come over to here a lot as a kid when my grandma was alive.
Ooh, no look at the Irish though. I can feel the 4 to win.
That's the point.
Let's see.
That was close.
Watch the 7 drop.
If it comes, it's going to be
Oh
great.
my days. Give me an 8.
Ooh. All right. I have to say, if I win, it hasn't felt very deserved. Like I've been getting it in bad a lot, but I always say better lucky than good.
And I'm raised 16.
All right.
You know what I find with live poker though, yeah? Like I've learned all this theory and stuff in online. And playing it in person is so difficult, man. You know, like there was in the last tournament I played in, I can't remember which one it was now.
Check.
Check, King Guy.
Queen. Last tournament. Did you go to Blackpool?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I went to Blackpool. And like, for example, like I had the ace of heart in my hand. And we get to the river and there's 3 hearts out there. So I know I can bluff top.
Yeah.
You know, the
You can go
best
big.
flush.
Yeah.
And so, like, there was a few hands where I didn't do it in it. And then that one, I just fucking did it. And the geezer folded it and I was just like, it feels so good when you get it through. But I very rarely, you know, those bluffs where you do them online, but you...
Yeah.
in
It's easier
person,
online.
Yeah, because no one's watching you. If you don't get it through, you haven't got to make that walk away from the table with everyone looking at you. It's just like, yeah, like how do you find like applying your online?
I love playing live, but my guess is that
I'm raised 16.
I give quite a lot away, because even though when I'm playing live, it's still a job in a sense, because, you know, poker's my gig. I treat it as a little bit of a break, and I try and be social. I try and chat. I'm not one of those lads who puts glasses on, puts headphones on, doesn't talk to anyone. Like I try and get in the mix. So like when I'm bluffing, like I'm loving it. I prefer bluffing than like getting aces. Like I love. You've got a real big hand. You can't even speak.
I haven't.
Oh, I'm big hand. Yeah, I love it, man. I've not played a lot of live poker because COVID happened. Then we had a kid. So I've not really got involved, but I'm going to get involved a lot in the next year. I actually want to start making live content rather than online content more often. I just feel like people love watching. People love, we'll put them up after a cent. People love watching big pots and live poker.
Yeah.
Like they do. It's great to watch.
I felt like at the World Series they missed a trick, man.
What was that?
Like, for example, that Phil Hammett was playing for like an 18th
2000.
bracelet and you couldn't watch it.
That's mad.
You know, like some of those things,
That's
it's
not
like,
good,
how
yeah.
come I can't watch a lot of what's going on at the moment? What's that, 2K? Jesus.
Had it.
Blinds up.
All right, blinds 5 and 1.
Also, like, you know, when I seen the World Series, I looked at it and I thought, I don't want to go there. Every video was just cues.
I put out a tweet a couple of months ago, actually maybe a month ago, and people ask me every year as a professional, like, why don't I go to Vegas? And people said that I came across as somewhat entitled and stuff, but like, it's so far away from home. You're in like this artificial environment.
Vegas ain't sexy.
It's not. People like to think it is, but it's not.
Why would you do that to me? It looks good.
One call, big hand here.
Fuck it.
Madam Cole. Show down, please.
Oh, yes. Got a chance.
All right, so I think I've slightly more than you. If I win this, it's over, Adam. You've been washed 3-0 in Dublin.
Oh,
An ace,
give me
a
a
9, a
nine.
queen, or a 10.
And I got the flush. I nearly got, ooh. Nearly had a little straight flush there.
8,000.
Wait, is this you on the ropes in
This is
game?
me on the ropes, mate. If you make a comeback from here, I'm going to be sick.
I told you, it's United Villa Park. Van Nistelrooy is warming up.
We never, last year and the year before, we actually beat you, but growing up, we never, ever, ever beat United. Ever.
I remember you beat us once 1-0.
Yeah, Gabby and Baltimore. I had, do you know what? I was 18.
Oh, 9, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Maybe. Yeah, no, I was 18, and I had Gabby to score first goal scorer. It was like 11-1, tenner on it, and then we also won.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I was at Old Trafford.
One of the best goals I've seen scored against United was Jack Grealish's
That was
at Old
unbelievable.
Trafford.
I think Jack Grealish was custom made to be a Manchester United player.
Mate, do you know what? There's videos out there saying how much I love him, and just like I want him signed for United. If we had Fergie, Fergie would have signed him.
I think Grealish would have been fair go there.
Yeah. He was he's a United fan. I've got all them
He's
tweets
not a
saved.
United fan.
He was.
He preferred United to City, but he wasn't a United. He was a Villa fan.
No, but he used to tweet a lot about United.
Yeah, when Ronaldo was
he was
there.
a Villa fan because he was at Villa, but
I know what you mean.
he liked United.
He hated City.
It's mad, isn't it?
Hated City. It's easy to hate City. Man,
I think so. You know what happened was when we signed Donny van der Beek, we were supposed to sign Jack Grealish,
I
but
know.
Villa wanted 60 million. So if you like got relegated then, when you were supposed to,
when we were supposed to, for the arrogance of that,
if you
when
got
we were
relegated,
supposed to.
he would have come to United for like 40 million.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
Because you stayed up, we had to spend that money on Donny van der Beek.
Such bad signing. It was like there's
I
no,
think
Ten
he's
Hag
been
is there
unlucky
and
with injuries, to be fair to him.
he just can't go all in. Against some strong. Oh no.
Yeah, Grealish, just amazing. He's one of those players like Harry Kane. I look at him, Jack Grealish. You just go, Fergie was here. They were United players a long time ago.
Yeah.
Harry Kane would have been a United player at like 26.
Who's your dream signing for United? Not realistic, but also not
Now.
Mbappe. Not Mbappe. Like as in like. Yeah, actually no. Do you know what?
It's still Frankie de Jong, you know.
Is it? Yeah.
I like Frankie de Jong.
I think Frankie de Jong would be incredible for United. That was a quite the drawn out saga last year.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't go to you now though. I think he goes to
I think
City.
he's on too much money at Barcelona, isn't it?
For
so
Barcelona to handle, you mean?
For him to want to leave Barcelona. I think it's a case of
they
like,
paid him crazy.
isn't it like 475, 500 grand a week?
He
something
was
like
like,
You have to shoot me to
do you have
get me
any
off that
insight on
contract.
are United actually going to get bought or what's the crack?
You know,
I don't have any insight. All I know is they're dragging their damn heels and it's taking a long time. I just have the fear that they might stick around.
For people who don't get it, because I feel like I understand it slightly, why is it that United fans don't like the Glazers so much? Because obviously you do spend money, but what is it about the Glazers that you hate?
So the Glazers, yeah. They bought the club in
2000.
2005. Ever since they bought the club,
People.
they have taken out of the club over 1.5 billion. Whether that's in
Future.
Loans,
debt
dividend.
repayment, loans, dividends, all these kind of different things. That's how much they've taken out of the club. So
Adam check. Check.
even before they get to,
check.
spending money, Manchester United spend money because
Check.
we can spend money.
And you make money.
Got there on the end. Manchester United can spend money because we make all of that money.
Yeah.
Like, the Glazers have never put a pound of their own money into it.
Isn't it
Never,
mad?
ever.
Isn't it mad that can happen though?
Like, they bought the club with debt. So they took a loan out
Yeah.
and then put that loan onto the club. So the debt became the club's debt.
You know. Of course. Show them.
No, Jack, no 9, and Adam makes it
Jack
2-1.
Jack Lyons is one of my favourite hands. Oh, give me a 3. Kill it now. Oh no! He hit 2 pair.
3.5.
Oh man.
How have you hit 2 pair there? Disgrace. Didn't even need it as well.
Do you worry about the direction that the ownership of every club is going to have to go for it to compete? Like when we see what happened with Newcastle, what's rumoured to be happening with United.
I don't
City.
think it has to go that way for people to compete though. Manchester United could compete now if we didn't have owners taking $1.5 billion out of the club. Man United don't need state ownership. Man United don't need the Qataris because we create so much money that we can spend our own money, you know what I mean? So I don't think clubs have to go that way. You look at Liverpool have had success over the last 10 years.
Villa are doing it as well.
Yeah, Liverpool have had success over the last 10 years with, you know, a great manager doing great things and not a great budget really if you look at it.
No, not at all. They got lucky with Coutinho, I would
So
argue.
I think they've shown that you can compete with them.
So is that your way of saying, like, if you were picking, you prefer not be state-owned?
I don't want to be state-owned.
You don't want to be?
I'm happy to say that out loud. Like, I never want to be state-owned.
They're most likely going
It's
to
most
be
likely, if the Glazers sell, I think it will be that. And there's issues with other owners. So people would say, oh, you don't want to be owned by Qataris, but you're happy to be owned by... No, that's not the case. I just don't want to be state-owned, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want the British state to own us, never mind the Qatari state.
You know what?
Good hands, good hands.
Add one of them 9s.
Yeah, I worry. One part of me, obviously, crazy money is flowing into Saudi Arabia at the moment. Like, the money is mental. And one part of me is like, could it just cleanse football if they just come in, spend 3-4 billion, take a lot of the top players out? Like, it would force clubs to have to develop more young players, be more competitive within their own countries. I'm just like, would that be a good thing for football, or is it going to be sad because so much top talent could go? Because like Osimhen's getting linked now, like that's big, you know.
Yeah, I think the Saudi thing's a reaction to United potentially being bought, you know.
Do you?
Because what you're going to see is a lot of like the geopolitical issues that these countries have with each other played out on the sporting field. They're probably going, Qatar are going to buy Man United. All right, cool. You've got United, the biggest club in the world, but check out our league.
Yeah.
And then they're going to push all them funds into the league. Wouldn't be surprising me if that's how it played out.
Let them check. Team back, 1,600. Hello.
I really want to win this one. If I win this one, I don't mind losing the next 2. I remember that time I won my first pot in a live thing and I was grabbing the chips. I was like, fuck it.
Did you? So you've played live tournaments. Have you had any decent cashes yet? Like, and I don't say that. Yeah.
My biggest cash was like 11 grand.
Where did you cash for 11
So
grand?
I finished third, which was like 4 grand. But then it was a mystery bounty and I picked out like 2 or 3 of the top bounties. Which
Was that a poker stars thing?
Yeah. I've had 2 cashes in Barca. I had 2 in Dublin. Not big ones. But my Hendon mob says about 15 or 16.
Mate,
That's without the mysteries on it.
You'll
So it
catch
should be
me
about
soon.
20.
I don't play much. Like, my hand is probably only about 50k.
Let them check.
Hendon mob's only what?
Honestly, I don't play much live at all. Maybe 50. Like,
Only 50.
yeah, but like I've been playing poker full time for a decade.
Let them check.
1,000.
Team back 1.
Oh, we're even. Oh. We're exactly even. I think this is gonna be last hand, Adam. I'm calling it right now.
Let's see what you got. Big boy.
I'm all in.
2,000. You know,
I really like this hand, but it's a stupid call if I call.
It'll be all over if you do. You're calling it's all over.
If you say that, I'm going to call.
I love it.
The more you say
I would
that.
love it if I beat him.
Shall I beat you with this shit hand?
Nah, man, I've got the nuts. I've got the nuts.
Yeah, but
I have the nuts.
you can't have it again.
I have the
Fuck
nuts.
off.
I actually do. I got the best hand you can have.
Nah, because I'm going to fold and you're going to show me shit. I know it.
Will I show you one? Which
and that folds.
I had 10-9.
Hi, Kings.
Yeah, Kings.
She laughed.
Is that
but
aces, kings, queens?
I hadn't looked at my hand and I said it, this is going to be the last hand, and H laughed. So she gave it away. She fucking gave my hand away. I just heard her giggling and I was like, fuck. I looked at my cards. Fuck.
Aces, kings, queens.
Yeah.
So far.
3 times each.
It's fucking disgrace. The best pair was sixes.
Call.
3 cards.
Wait, what am I on?
1.
And then raise 2,000.
Oh, fuck off. Just was talking about it. Look down at them bad boys.
What would you take? Manchester United winning the treble with Martial scoring the winning goal, or you winning an EPT in Barcelona
Treble
for 1
all
million
day
quid?
long.
Yeah?
No, wait, how much?
1 million quid. It's tough, isn't it? Because I get asked stuff like this all the time, but I think I'd go for the moment with my family over the money.
I'd go treble. Again.
Being
able to experience that, not as a 10-year-old, would be unreal.
Yeah.
Like when we won the double and I was 19, best days of my life. Like genuinely, like best days of my life. I don't think you can beat that feeling.
All of it.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, I might have had you beat somehow.
If I could watch Aston Villa win it, like it's so hard for me to imagine because like.
Because you won it in 86?
82.
82.
Well before I was born. But I've never seen us really win a cup. Like we did win the League Cup when I was 4, but. Like,
So is your family from the Paul McGrath era?
My family's from Birmingham.
Villa? Okay.
My gran is Birmingham. My dad was born in Birmingham.
Born or from Ireland and lived.
Sorry, so my granny was from Ireland, but my dad was born in Birmingham.
You know what?
Why are you doing
If I
this?
win this 3-0, I'm going
Why are you
full.
doing
You know
this?
Ryan Giggs when he went top off around the table? Like that's what I'm
I got my
gonna do.
favourite hand again.
Jack 9. Oh, big trouble.
Well, one of them.
Big trouble.
I might try it.
And then cards. Show them.
Ah.
Oh, big trouble. If we do not see an 8, it is all over
Gotta stop calling it
in
my favourite
Dublin.
hands. Come on. Okay,
like
so
that.
stand up.
You deserve one. You deserve one.
Give me an 8.
Not a great start. Not a great start. No, wait. Adam,
Pathetic.
it is 3-0. I'm going to call it there. You've come to Dublin. You've failed to win a single game, but I've had a good chat with you, so thank you very much. Do you know what?
You just done and dusted with me now? I can't even play for some pride.
And that is that. It is all over in Dublin. McKola has been washed 3-0. Have you got any final words?
Yeah, I'm coming back soon.
Mate, I would love to get you, Boovy, Spraggy, Tonka, Lex, have a little 6-handed game the next time the Irish Open is on and we'll get a real
You didn't
winner.
say Rory there. I'm a bit worried.
I forget Rory?
No, you forgot Rory, but
I
said
say-
Boovy.
Sorry, Rory. Rory, I'm sorry.
Rory.
I love you with all
Rory,
of my
what's
heart.
going on
I
here?
love you with all of my heart. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Adam, thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
coming.
having me,
We
man.
will do this again soon. Cheers.